I was a public sector executive for many years, which meant making and advising on many big decisions, and even more small ones. Often, maybe always, those decisions had to be made with less information than I would ideally have liked. Decisions have consequences, and most of us get into public service because we want to make the world a better place. Human beings generally have a cognitive bias towards assigning blame for the consequences of actions more than for the consequences of inaction. Think about how much more harshly we judge someone for deliberately hurting another person than we do for failing to prevent pain caused by something or someone else. To cause injury through action is considered morally reprehensible, but failing to prevent injury through inaction is more of a grey area. Uncertainty about whether you're doing the right thing can make every decision feel like a big risk, especially in the public sector, where we're subject to public accountability and scrutiny of organisations and individuals, community expectations that we'll avoid harm and minimise risk to often vulnerable people, community expectations that we'll avoid waste and minimise risk in handling public funds, legal obligations, and political considerations. That's fair enough, but in this video, we're going to focus on another consideration that gets a lot less attention when we're deciding whether to decide now or to wait for better information. In taking care to avoid premature decisions, we often overlook the real costs and risks of delaying action. We often strive for more complete information, seeking to minimize the risk of making the wrong decision. We know there's no such thing as truly complete information, but we still feel better when we have more of it. In most of the public service settings where I've worked, wanting more information was generally regarded as a good enough reason to delay action. There are cultural variations in how much ambiguity we tolerate before committing to public action. In Australia, doing lots of research and business cases and pilots and evaluations before committing to a decision is just responsible governance. Some other cultures and settings put more emphasis on the high costs of all that preparation and the foregone benefits of deferred action. As long as there isn't an unacceptable risk of harm, some settings are more open to trial and error as a way of figuring out what works and then scaling it. You may have heard one of the key differences between the public and private sectors summed up like this. In the private sector, trying 10 things and having one succeed makes you an innovator. In the public sector, it makes you a failure 9 times over. We're not suggesting that people in publicly funded organisations should move fast and break things, but it's also true that it's hard to expect big hits if you never take a big swing. While there can certainly be benefits in delaying a decision while you collect more information, there are costs too. Time is passing. Whatever problem you're trying to solve is affecting more people every day. The costs of gathering information are adding up, and the value of the information you've gathered so far is decaying as it loses currency. Opportunities and alternatives are also passing you by, some of them lost forever because you weren't ready to decide. Perversely, the longer you wait to make a decision and the better informed you are, the less consequential that decision will be. So much has already happened, so many costs have been sunk, and so many doors that were once open have now closed. It's easy to end up making better informed decisions that matter less and less. Earlier decisions generally have bigger effects, which is partly why they can feel so dangerous, but it also means they can have bigger benefits. We can never have truly perfect information, or be really certain that we're doing the right thing. But if the size of the likely benefit exceeds the level of uncertainty, then even an imperfect action offers at least some potential benefit beyond perfect inaction. If you wait until you know everything, you might never achieve anything. There's no one right way to make decisions, and no one rule for deciding when to decide. We have an obligation to manage risk, certainly, but that includes the risk of inaction as much as the risk of premature action. I hope this short video has helped you to reflect on how you balance the costs and benefits of earlier versus later and better informed decisions. It's worth revisiting once in a while to reassure yourself that you're maximizing the public good rather than minimizing public and private risk. Good luck with your next decision, and thank you for watching.